Hello and welcome to the AskDrBen podcast. I'm your host, Ben Johnson. As a holistic-minded physician, I've spent the last 20 years looking outside the box and conducting research to find the true causes of skin conditions and other diseases. And while the focus of my work has been on aesthetic medicine and unlocking the secrets to reversing skin damage, this podcast will also include many other exciting revelations pertaining to you and your family's health and well-being. So let's get started. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Ask Dr. Ben podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the best serums for aging skin. I get this question a lot. I think it's really valuable to have a good sense of what's missing in your skin as you get older, and that's really how I came to the conclusions I'm about to share with you. You know, and this is a labor of love. I've been working on formulations for skin serums now for close to 25 years. And, you know, as I try to remind everybody, like as a formulator, everybody has pretty much the same options, unless we're talking about patented ingredients that are not available to be licensed. In that situation, you know, obviously an individual company is going to have an advantage. Now, we happen to have a couple of really important patents that I will speak to here that speak to why I think the osmosis serums, let's call it, you know, our top 5 serums are really addressing the most specific issues that people face. You see, a lot of skincare is a lot more common sense than you think. And unfortunately, when it comes to formulating, I think everybody has been stuck in a rut. And they've been thinking about, well, what is everyone else using? What's the best marketing claim? Like which ones have the best claims associated with them? Which ingredients, I should say, have the best claims associated with them? So we should add that ingredient to the mix. But do they necessarily make it in a therapeutic amount? Or is everything continually being pushed towards the most cost-effective method of manufacturing? You know, that's, I think, where I get turned off the most, is this idea that, hey, if you can make this super profitable, that's the best decision as a formulator. And I disagree with that. I mean, I think all products should be made to serve a purpose, and they should be made at the best value you can do that at. And I'll give you one example. As a formulator, I make decisions to order my own raw materials. So I might have a lab, and we work with several labs, but one of my labs says, hey, you've sent this formula over. We don't offer this ingredient. You know, can I interest you in this or that ingredient? And 99 times out of 100, when that's happened, we have opted to purchase the raw material ourselves and ship it to the lab. And that may not sound like a big deal, but that is, from what I can tell, we're one of the few companies who practices this often. And the reason why that's an advantage, as I jump into these serums shortly here, sorry, I'm just giving you the preamble. The reason why that's an advantage is because I can buy ingredients cheaper than the lab would charge me to put them in the product. They put a markup on every ingredient, right? By offering ingredients and providing them ourselves, it actually reduces our costs, and we can pass that reduced cost on to you. So without further ado, let's dive right into, first and foremost, our understanding of aging skin and what we need to worry about, because there are some key things that I think you're going to find new and interesting. If you're not too familiar with my philosophy, and even if you are, you probably haven't heard some of this, so I look forward to sharing. Let's see. The number one thing I've identified as a critical cog in the wheel of aging is a loss in circulation in the skin. So every year of your adult life, and we'll start calling adult life at about age 25. So about at age 25 begins a significant decline in the quality of the skin. It's a slow decline for most people. Of course, it's accelerated with a really harsh lifestyle, smoking, and other, going through chemotherapy, being on really harsh medication. All those things can accelerate aging, but expect about 1% loss in your skin in many different categories starting at age 25. So the rule of thumb I like to use, because I'm turning 53 here, and I think 50 is a good sort of mid-ground number to choose. So if you are 50 years old and listening to this, you have approximately 25% less circulation in your skin than what you had when you were 25. And that's the result of about 1% a year. Now, that same number also applies to collagen. So at age 50, you have 25% less collagen in your skin than you did at its peak. And again, this is related to this 1% loss in collagen that's been documented as an average pace of decline. Now, as it turns out, you also have a decline of about 1% a year in your growth factor population, and you have a decline in your skin's ability to heal that occurs at about, we'll call it 1%. I mean, really, when you take away the food supply of the skin, you can imagine that all things that rely on metabolic effort to keep you young or to heal you are going to be declining. So we estimate, although I'm not sure all of it's been measured as carefully as circulation and collagen, but we estimate just about everything slows down, including your turnover rate, right? So your skin's turnover rate, which, there's no medical research that proves what causes a slowing down of the skin's turnover rate, but I have the very logical answer for you, which is that your skin slows down its epidermal turnover rate. Remember, when you're young, your skin makes your epidermis every 30 days. So turnover is sort of in line with that discussion of how often does your epidermis replace itself. And that in the young is 30 days. So fast forward now, you're 50, you're going to have 25% slower turnover rate. Well, that means you're probably turning over in about the 38-day range, which, kind of fits into the estimates I think people have made on this rate. But again, the cause of it is very obvious. You've lost your food supply. So imagine right now that you were eating 25% less than the dietary requirements your body needed to maintain its metabolism. What do you think would happen? It's pretty straightforward. Your metabolism would decline by 25%. And so that's why, starvation diets fail for a lot of people. And that's why the skin slows down as you age. So, the beauty of this philosophy, again, I hearken back everything to sitting here in awe over how complex and beautiful and responsive the human body is to whatever it faces. And your skin, like everything else, wants to be at full capacity if it can, but it struggles to keep up the full capacity the more we reduce its nutrient supply, the more we reduce its antioxidant supply, the more we reduce its oxygen supply. Like, all those things matter. And final piece of the story on the aging skin has to do with the fat pads. So this is not quite as uniform as the circulation and related components within the skin, because the fat pads of your face have a detox role that they play. And so it kind of depends how much alcohol and sugar you're ingesting, and or there's also fat pads, I believe, that relate to salt injection. Basically, table salt is one of the key inflammatory markers in the American diet, and it is a cause of loss of your fat pad in certain regions of your face. So I've mapped out which fat pads I think respond. It's what I'll call a working theory right now. I'm extremely excited about it because we've come up with a way to actually replace the fat pad. But today is about serum, so we're not going to talk about recovery, my fat pad replacement supplement. So now we understand what's happening to the skin, right? You have some sun damage that's occurring, and depending on how much sun damage you get, if you live in Seattle versus Florida, you're going to look a little bit different, right? So depending on how much sun damage you get, we have to address the oxidative damage of your epidermal barrier, and that's caused by free radicals, that thing you've heard so much about. Like, what happens when you go in the sun? Oh, it causes free radicals, and those are oxygen-free radicals that happen in your epidermis, and those do cause changes to your skin texture and basically, to your epidermal health overall. And so that's another one that has to be addressed. And then you have your DNA damage that's caused by the UV exposure, and that's going to vary on different people. So what I'm trying to describe for you is there's 3 layers of aging that you need to think about. One of them is, how toxic is your diet, and is that shrinking your fat pads on your face, causing volume loss? Number 2, how much sun exposure have you had in your in your adulthood and or in your youth, if you took a lot of hits then, and how much recovery needs to be happen there. And then number 3, how much inherent aging is happening in your skin as your skin loses its circulation and the food supply and the healing components that it needs. So those are all the things you can answer in your own head right now as we dive into the phase 1. So I'm going to tell you these things in the order I believe they apply to most people. So the number 1 best value in the osmosis top 5 serums, and probably the most important one for general aging, and this speaks to the loss in circulation, the loss in collagen and elastin. I'll even go into, to some level, and basically the loss of nutrient supply. So what addresses all of those? That is our A serum category. So that's Calm, Correct, and Renew. But for simplicity purposes, I'm going to just jump to the strongest formula because that's the one you want to work your way to. It's very similar to Correct, Renew is, but it is double the retinaldehyde. So it has that much more collagen activation in it. And so it really is an amazing value when you look at the huge number of collagen stimulators in the formula. We're talking about hydroxyproline, chlorella, niacinamide, 1,3-beta-glucan, R-lipoic acid. And so all of these ingredients have a collateral collagen stimulating benefit. So the way I formulated it in my head was, okay, people are going to come and they're like, well, what's your best product for wrinkles? And that's how the A serums began, because I knew I had to find the right A serum. Oh, I should say I had to find the right vitamin A. But the thing you need to learn and know from this podcast today is vitamin A alone is not going to reverse aging very effectively. And as you probably have heard from my vitamin A serum conversations, vitamin A as in the forms of retinol, retinyl palmitate, retinyl acetate, and retinoic acid don't do anything to increase collagen density in your dermis. Zero. Research definitive on that. So I really cannot tell you how important it is if you're going to buy a vitamin A, and you cannot buy my vitamin A, that's fine. But if you're going to buy a vitamin A, always look for retinaldehyde. And really, you need to find products that have stabilized retinaldehyde, and there's just very few on the planet that have access to that technology. Now, what makes our retinaldehyde even more special is it's stabilized and it is liposome delivered. And what a liposome does is it increases the penetration of active ingredients by roughly 6-fold. Vitamin A is a pretty big ingredient. It needs help getting into the skin. And so we can get a 6 times penetration enhancement by using pharmaceutical grade liposomes, which we use in a few of the serums we're discussing here today. So super exciting to me. You can get this product. The chlorella in this product is stimulating for new blood vessel formation. The niacinamide in this product is dilating your blood vessels to increase local delivery of nutrients. And even retinaldehyde has some genetic markers. A lot of these ingredients get studied for what genes they activate, and it does have genetic markers suggesting it increases new blood vessel formation as well. So this product is approached to stimulate more circulation. Because, by the way, one of the reasons this A serum is so effective and does create permanent change on your skin is because you're feeding your skin with chlorella and niacinamide effects while you're asking the skin to make more collagen. One of the challenges your skin faces is it doesn't matter what collagen stimulator you put on it. If the nutrient supply isn't accelerated, there's no way that the fibroblast, which is the cell that makes your collagen in your dermis, there's no way that fibroblast can make more collagen and elastin if you don't, in fact, increase the supply at the same time you're making the request. So I hope that makes sense. The idea here is a tag team approach. There are 8 collagen stimulators in this formula. And as you heard me say, there are vascular building components to this formula. So this, to me, is like the go-to base product that I want you using for aging. And, a couple little notes on it. If you jump onto this product and you find that it causes purging in some region of your face, just know that that's because niacinamide is a detox ingredient. And so the high dose niacinamide in this may purge toxins in your skin, but it's not causing acne. It is clearing toxicity. And so you need to treat the toxic source underneath it. This will also be true for the next serum I'm going to talk to you about, which is Catalyst, where it detoxes the skin. And so if you are taking this product and you are purging, it's a sign that you have internal toxicity. We treat it very, very effectively, and you need to look at our wellness, reach out to your sales representative or call customer service, or even, write me, Dr. Ben at osmosisbeauty.com. So that is the beauties of the A serum. Is it's tolerated in pregnancy and breastfeeding. It's non-sun sensitizing. It's the only vitamin A serum, I think, in the world that's non-sun sensitizing. Does not cause DNA damage because of the stabilization of the vitamin A, and it does not overexfoliate the skin, which is part of why it's non-sun sensitizing. But that also means it's barrier protecting. And so it's a really unique formula. The liposome material in this formula is called phosphatidylcholine. It's what your cell walls are made of. It is really a special product that traps moisture in the skin instead of drying your skin out. So I hope you appreciate it. So your vitamin A serum should be used twice daily. It can be cocktailed with your other serums except for Stem Factor, which is on this list. So let's jump next to the second most important of the top 5 serums in osmosis, which I believe to be Catalyst AC11. Now, let me make a caveat here. This is the full-on anti-aging. We're addressing collagen losses, elastin losses. We're addressing loss in elasticity of the skin. We're addressing DNA damage. Remember all these things I mentioned in the beginning. You're in the back of your head now. You're like, okay, I know I have to deal with these things. And so you might find that Catalyst is not your number 2 most important serum because your texture and your age spots are more important to you. And in that case, you would want the 3rd most important serum, which is our Rescue. And so Catalyst is a patented product of ours. The technology is really different and interesting. It's basically the vitamin C serum that you would choose in your line. So, there are a lot of vitamin C serums out there, and there are a lot of people with a lot of opinions. I'm going to give you just sort of the basics of it. I looked at all the vitamin C's. I looked at the stabilized vitamin C's. I have access to all of them. I made my choices based on what I'm about to tell you. Vitamin C is a really interesting molecule in that its antioxidant properties are not the most important property. The actual most important aspect of vitamin C is its collagen stimulating property, and that is done by its ability to make the amino acids in your skin sticky. Right? You've all heard that story about scurvy. Oh, the people on boats didn't get access to vitamin C in their diet, and so skin started to fall apart. Well, the skin started to fall apart not because they didn't have antioxidant protection. If you don't have antioxidant protection, then your skin just starts developing sunspots and sunburns a lot easier. But if you actually have scurvy, that means your skin is not able to literally repair itself and or create the collagen and elastin needed. And that has to do with this process called hydroxylation, which is what vitamin C does very well. Also an ingredient called AKG does very well. Both of those are in Catalyst. So the reason why I'm telling you this story is because vitamin C is an important part of your skincare routine. It's a really important ingredient in helping your fibroblasts make collagen. It plays such an important role. So yes, it's good in your diet, but I don't believe in mega dosing vitamin C because I think it actually weakens your immune system. I believe the studies supported that. Definitely with vitamin E, they supported that, but I'm pretty sure there was a study that had the same sort of shocking reality. So topically, how do you want to present your vitamin C? You're going to hear a whole host of experts tell you that you need the stable vitamin C because once vitamin C is oxidized, it's no good anymore. And that is the old school chemist mentality that vitamin C is an antioxidant, and if it's oxidized, it's no longer an antioxidant, and now it's wasted. Well, I don't subscribe to that because we already know from the research that vitamin C is reactivated, if you will, or the oxidation part of vitamin C is repaired by something in your skin called glutathione. So you will find, I think, that the benefits of this product are incredible. It is going to enhance your wound healing capacity. So you think of this catalyst as being, you know how I talked to you about how the tools of your skin have diminished as you age? This is replacing really critical tools at a high level. Some of the unique ingredients, and besides the vitamin C and the AKG in this formula, and by the way, AKG stands for alpha ketoglutarate, are the amino acids that we hydroxylate in the manufacturing process. So this product bubbles for a month after we mix the ingredients together because it's literally forming these really powerful healing tools for your skin called hydroxyproline, hydroxylysine, hydroxyglycine, and hydroxycysteine in really high doses. So that's why Catalyst is a little bit sticky and a little bit dark, because it's literally creating this formula of high potency for healing. And that's why it's able to reverse acne scarring, and it's able to heal broken capillaries, and it's able to make skin tags fall. I mean, it has so many applications. It's crazy. But we're talking about it for aging skin at this point, and I want to say its ability to heal DNA damage is clinically proven. Its ability to tighten the skin by 110% over 8 weeks was clinically proven. It causes a tightening of the eyelids. Yes, all my serums should be used on the eyelids as well. So it's a really incredible product. Number 2 for me in the range as far as my top 5 serums. And, you just figure out how to cocktail it and make it work. It's because it is a little darker, so fair skin struggles a little bit more with it. But I personally like the level of the slight tanning effect that it causes for the day. So I have no problem with that. But it mixes really nicely with the third product I'm going to talk about here, which is Rescue. And so when you put Rescue, which is a pure white formula, in with the Catalyst, I think you'll find it to be a nice addition for you. So moving on to Rescue. So remember, that was our DNA repair we're addressing in that serum. Again, these are the top 5 serums because we're addressing really the top 5 reasons why your skin ages. And so DNA repair, bigger focus on elasticity, a bigger focus on wound healing. So for that reason, I liked Catalyst, and also called in the retail line DNA repair serum. It's a weaker version of Catalyst. So Rescue, number 3 of the top 5 serums, another patented product of ours. No one in the world is using this ingredient. It's called trioxylane, although the label will say the inky name of ozonized ethyl oleate. And trioxylane is incredible because it's a stabilized oxygen that heals oxidation. So this is phase 3 of the aging dilemma. And, a lot of people use antioxidants for oxidation. But the problem with antioxidants is they never get the job done 100%. And you can antioxidize your skin and actually make it less healthy. But the main thing is that oxidation happens regardless of whether or not you apply antioxidant creams, and antioxidants do not reverse oxidation. So that's where Rescue comes into play. We're trying to reverse the oxidation of your skin. That's going to change your texture. Your age spots are going to heal permanently. You're going to see inflammation go down dramatically because that oxygen's also used to boost repair and detox in the skin. It's really the go-to we use for a lot of skin conditions in the first phase because of its ability to calm inflamed skin and detox it. So for aging, it's one of my faves. Can't emphasize enough. There's just nothing like it. It has a very unique addition to the formula. So you'll typically hear me say to people that I use 4 serums, and it's the Rescue, the Catalyst, the Renew, and Stem Factor, which is going to be my number 4 of the 5 serums. And this one is designed, again, to fix old damage. Really, that's why I use it, to repair the damage of ongoing sun exposure along with healing the old damage. And again, I can't emphasize enough how crazy cool it is that this product does permanent changes, because the repair, once you've done the repair, it's repaired. Yes, you can re-damage, but it is repaired. So love that product. Again, I would cocktail the Catalyst, Stem Factor, and Renew together. 1 pump of each twice a day is my recommended protocol after you've applied Stem Factor to the skin. Now, what is Stem Factor and why do you apply that first? Well, it's our stem cell derived growth factor serum, and it's got over 600 different proteins related to rejuvenation and healing. It's the highest number in the industry. It has the highest number of growth factors in the industry. It's the best growth factor serum on the market. And I'm speaking purely on the analytics. Like if you think you might have found a growth factor serum that's better than this, all you have to do is request their growth factor information. How many growth factors do they have? At what quantity are those growth factors present in each milliliter of solution? Those are the ways you tell whether or not you've got the goods. And of course, performance, which Stem Factor has great performance. So these growth factors in the product are unique in that they have a delivery system called exosome technology. This is a clinically proven formula to rejuvenate the skin. Again, more permanent changes in the skin from this formula. And the way it works is the growth factors in it are dropped into your follicle because they're so big they won't go in the skin any other way. And once in the follicle, they activate receptors, and that's been shown to be true for other growth factor serums. So we know that to be clinically proven. So Stem Factor is a really nice light serum and really well tolerated, and it goes on the skin first on a clean face because you want those growth factors closest to the follicle entrance when you apply your other serums. And so that's the big four. It is, why growth factors? Why do I need growth factors? Because they decline at 1% a year like the other stuff we talked about. So at age 50, you have 25% fewer growth factors in your skin. So really makes a nice change. Plus this Stem Factor formula, it contains small components of collagen and elastin and fibronectin and other skin goodies, nutrients that help the skin feed the rejuvenation process. So really, really a special product. And I'll end on the number 5 serum, which I don't include in my protocol unless I'm headed out for extended sun exposure. And that is Replenish, our antioxidant serum. And that serum is the most packed antioxidant serum I think you'll find on the market. I want to say there are 14 different antioxidants in it off the top of my head, all liposome delivered. Remember that pharmaceutical delivery strategy using phosphatidylcholine where we increase the penetration by 6-fold? That's what happens with Replenish. It also restores the barrier because of that liposome material, and it helps trap moisture in the skin. So it is definitely a fan favorite out there for a lot of people, but I wouldn't tell you it is number 5 on my list for a reason. The first 4 are doing more to reverse aging. Now, for some of you who can't tolerate A serums, Replenish is amazing because it does have 5 collagen stimulators in it. None of them are the vitamin A collagen stimulator, but it does have others that are very beneficial to the skin. So on that note, guys, again, the protocol, wash your face, apply Stem Factor first, twice daily, 1 pump. And then you take the other 3 serums, you cocktail 1 pump into your hand, you mix them together, and you massage them into your skin as effectively as you can. Then you take Infuse or Boost, and you spray your skin 4 to 5 times, getting it decently moist, and then you massage in 1 more time for 20 to 30 seconds, again with the idea that by doing that, you've literally accelerated the penetration by 30%. This is really important. It makes it much more value to your dollar. The whole thing about the osmosis approach to serums is about value, right? I mean, I could sell you a really fancy peptide serum and we do use a couple peptides in the serums that I talked about with you today, but they're only the ones that I found to be bioavailable. So I could sell you a really fancy peptide serum, and if most of the peptides in that formula are not actually impacting wound healing in the skin. That's what it comes down to, guys. I know you're thinking, I thought it was about wrinkles or redness, but honestly, it's impacting wound healing is what distinguishes a temporary anti-aging serum effect from a permanent one. And so there's a ton of stuff out there where they're using alpha hydroxys to plump your skin, or a high dose of vitamin C, 10 to 15% pure vitamin C can cause enough irritation to plump the skin. And so yes, the C is doing some good in that case, but the irritation factor that causes the plumping is what we avoid at Osmosis. And so we're not into this temporary plumping model. It's not worth your dollars. And shoot, wouldn't you want to be on a regimen where every month you're on it, your skin keeps getting younger? Get out of that old model where when you use serum, you see your skin get better for the first month or two, and then it plateaus and you don't see any further improvements at all because all you did was plump your epidermis. So we do take a unique philosophy. I'm excited to share that with you today, and I appreciate you joining me on this podcast. As you might imagine, you can check us out at osmosisbeauty.com, where you can go do the skin quiz and find the perfect protocol for you. It's a very personalized quiz format. Check out my Insta Lives, but Insta Lives happening weekly. You should be able to find those on our Osmosis Beauty Instagram or Ben Johnson MD Instagram. Occasionally get some flow over to that as well. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Thanks for joining me for another episode. Look forward to sharing some exciting new information next week. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Ask Dr. Ben. Please leave a review if you can, and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts to get access to all of my upcoming episodes. My website is osmosisbeauty.com, and you can find me on Facebook at Osmosis Beauty. And you can also follow me on Instagram at osmosis_beauty. Thanks for listening.